Did you know a top stallion can sire up to 150 foals in a single season? But most broodmares get only 10 to 15 chances in their entire life. While most simply fade into forgotten history, a few use those opportunities to shape champions, redefine bloodlines, and create legacies. They pass down speed, power, and grit. Their names are also etched into pedigrees, race records, and breeding barns across the world. In this video, we're counting down 23 of the most influential broodmares in horse racing history, whose impact still rule the track today. Let's begin with Bohemian. Speed wasn't her specialty on the track, but passing it on? That's where the Bohemian left her mark. Foaled in 1985 and sired by Mill Reef, she raced in Europe with modest success before retiring to Jude Monte Farms. That's when her real work began. She produced Coraline, who went on to foal Group 1 stars like Reefscape and Coastal Path. But it was her granddaughter Hope who raised the stakes, literally, by producing the blisteringly fast Oasis Dream and the elite sire Kingman. Bohemian passed away in 2003 of age-related complications. She wasn't the headliner, but her daughters and grandsons became the main event across European turf and global breeding catalogs. Let's explore a dynastic broodmare next. At number 22 is the mighty Ruckaba. Though she didn't win big, she built a dynasty out of daughters. Ruckaba, born in 1983 and sired by Crystal Palace, scored just once as a juvenile before stepping into history as a broodmare. Before her death in 2002, she produced 13 foals, 11 of them fillies, and almost everyone left a mark. Her daughters include Last Second, Dam of G1 winner Aussie Rules, Alleluia, Dam of Prix Royal Oak star Allegretto, and Alouette, who gave us G1 winning sisters Albanova and Albarada. Then there's Jude, a non-winner turned powerhouse for Coolmore, responsible for Yesterday, Quarter Moon, and Diamonds and Rubies. This family still fuels Europe's elite barns, sending fillies to the best sires around. Next up, a mare whose daughters rewrote Europe's playbook. Rewriting history at number 21 is La Troienne. She was born on April the 26th, 1926 in France, and was never placed in a single race. But don't let that fool you. La Troienne rewrote the history of the American Thoroughbred. Sired by Teddy and imported by Colonel Edward R. Bradley, she lived out her broodmare career at Idle Hour Farm in Kentucky. Trained briefly but retired unraced, her legacy exploded in the breeding shed. She produced Black Helen and Big Hurry, and through them came Buckpasser, Go for Gin, Easy Goer, and even American Pharaoh's female line. She died of old age in 1954 after producing 14 foals. No AEI could ever measure her worth because she didn't just shape pedigrees, she built American racing's backbone. Ready for the next queenmaker? You've definitely heard of her son. At number 20, let's bring in the great Natalma. Northern Dancer didn't come from nowhere. He came from Natalma. Born on March 26, 1957, in Kentucky, sired by Native Dancer and raised under the roof of Winfield's farm. She ran just 7 times, winning 3 before a minor injury cut her racing career short. But retirement gave rise to revolution. In 1961, she delivered Northern Dancer, whose blood now runs through champions from Europe to Japan. Her other foals, like Arctic Dancer and Raise the Standard, kept the line alive. Natalma's AEI hit 3.64, and for good reason. She passed away from colic in 1985, but decades later, the breed still bows to her. Let's now move on to a mare who built an empire from the ground up. Next in line at number 19 is Leslie's Lady. Not many broodmares launch a commercial empire, but this one did. Foaled on March 10, 1996 in Kentucky and sired by Tricky Creek, Leslie's Lady earned just over $187,000 on the track under trainer John Hall. It was her second act at Clarkland Farm that rewrote the script. Into Mischief came first, now the most dominant sire in North America. Then came Beholder, winner of 4 Eclipse Awards, 11 Grade 1s, and over $6.1 million in prize money. Mendelssohn and America's Joy added even more firepower to her record. Laminitis took her life in 2023, but not her influence. With an AEI of 4.21, her legacy isn't fading, it's only multiplying. From commercial gold to bloodline royalty, here comes another. Now entering the list at number 18 is Toussaud. Some mares pass on talent, but Toussaud passed on brilliance. Again and again. Foaled May 6, 1989, in Kentucky. She was sired by El Grand Seigneur and trained by Bobby Frankel. On the track, she proved her class in both hemispheres, winning the Grade 1 Gamely Handicap and showing versatility overseas. But her pedigree became legend in the breeding shed. Toussaud produced 5 individual Grade 1 winners, each by a different sire. That list includes Empire Maker, Belmont Stakes Hero and Elite Sire, Chester House, Honest Lady, Carchi, and Chiseling. Her AEI hovered around 3.2, and her foals earned over $4.5 million combined. Laminitis ended her life in 2009, but her female line remains one of the strongest modern producers in North America. That was impressive, right? This next one built Southern Hemisphere royalty. Here comes 8 Karat at number 17. Australasia didn't just breed champions, it imported one. 8 Karat dropped in 1975 in England, sired by Pieces of 8, and sold to New Zealand after a winless career on the track. What followed was one of the most dominant broodmare legacies in Southern Hemisphere history. At Cambridge Stud, she produced 5 individual Group 1 winners, including Octagonal, winner of 10 G1s, and Moawad, Cotahele House, and Capstad. Diamond Lover added sparkle with a Railway Stakes win and later produced top-class De Beers. 8 Karat passed away in 2000 from natural causes, having delivered 15 foals and transformed the breeding landscape. Now brace yourself for the mare behind one of racing's untouchables. But before that, if you're loving this deep dive into racing royalty, hit that subscribe button. We've got more legendary bloodlines coming your way. You don't want to miss what's next. Our countdown continues at number 16 with Kind. When your son is named Frankel, the rest of your resume could be blank, and it'd still be legendary. But Kind, who made her debut in Ireland on April 21st, 2001, had more than one ace in her blood. Sired by Danehill and trained by Roger Charlton, she won 6 of 13 starts before retiring to Judd Monty Farms. That's where history happened. Frankel, born in 2008, went unbeaten in 14 races and became a stallion sensation. His brother, Noble Mission, was no slouch either, scoring in the Champion Stakes. Kind also produced Bullet Train, Joyeuse, and Proconsul. Her AEI? A dazzling 3.89. Liver failure claimed her in 2021, but her line is far from done. And we're not done yet either. Up next, royalty and horsepower. Still climbing the pedigree ladder, we've got Highclere at number 15. Highclere lived up to her royal heritage and produced exceptional results. Foaled in 1971 and bred by Queen Elizabeth II, she was sired by Queen's Hussar out of Highlight. Trained by Major Dick Hearn, she won both the 1,000 Guineas and Prix de Diane in 1974, before retiring to the Royal Studs. That's where her legacy took root. Her daughter, Height of Fashion, produced Nashwan, Naef, and Unfuane, each a force in European middle-distance racing. Through wind in her hair, Highclere became the Grandam of Deep Impact, Japan's greatest sire. She died in 1992 of natural causes, after producing 11 foals. Let's keep it rolling. The next mare passed on more than speed. She passed power. Staking her claim at number 14 is Coup de Folie. One glance at her pedigree, and you knew she was built for impact. Coup de Folie was foaled on March 2, 1982, in Kentucky, by Halo out of Raise the Standard, a granddaughter of Natalma. She raced in France, winning the Group 3 Prix d'Omalie under the training of François Boutin before heading to the breeding shed. That's where things got serious. She produced 3 Group 1 winners: Machiavellian, Exit to Nowhere, and Coup de Genie. Through Machiavellian came Street Cry, sire of Zenyatta and Winx. And through Coup de Genie came Denebola and Bago. Coup de Folie died in 2001 of colic-related complications, but her blood still powers major pedigrees across Europe and beyond. Up next is another legend who turned her foals into finish line killers. Let's roll in Glorious Song at number 13. A mare that could race like a warrior and breed like a queen doesn't come along often. Glorious Song was foaled on March 22, 1976 in Canada. Sired by Halo out of Ballad, trained by Fred H. Loschke and later John Cairns, she won 17 of her 34 starts, including the Grade 1 Santa Margarita and top flight handicaps, racking up over $1 million in earnings. But her second act was just as spectacular. At Winfield's Farm, she produced Rahi, who sired Serena's Song, and Singspiel, a globe-trotting champion and sire of Moon Ballad and Dar Re Mi. Glorious Song died of natural causes in 2003 with an AEI of over 2.8. That was music to the turf. Let's see who's next in this Hall of Fame. We're moving on now to Fall Aspen at number 12. Fall Aspen didn't just produce winners. She built bloodlines that still dominate today. Born in 1976 in Kentucky, she was sired by Pretense out of Change Water. On the track, she won the Grade 1 Matron Stakes before retiring to Lane's End Farm. That's where things took off. Her son Timber Country won the Preakness, and Northern Aspen became a Group 1 winner in France. Ella Searle, another daughter, produced Maythoff and helped launch the line of Dubai Millennium. Colorado Dancer, also from Fall Aspen, produced Dubawi, one of the world's top sires. She had 13 foals before passing in 1998 from natural causes. Her AEI topped 3.0, a number that reflects a global impact few mares have ever matched. Next, we have a mare whose legacy still cashes in at every major sale. Our next legend's broodmare is Blush with Pride. While some mares shine in just one role, Blush with Pride excelled in two. Born on June 6, 1979 in Kentucky, she was sired by Blushing Groom out of Best in Show. Trained by D. Wayne Lucas, she won the Kentucky Oaks in 1982 and earned over $500,000 on the track. Then came her second act. At broodmare duty, she produced Better Than Honor, who later foaled two Belmont Stakes winners. Another daughter, Miesque, produced Peeping Fawn and The Way You Are. Even Smolensk, another daughter, added to the legacy with G1 placed Can the Man. Blush with Pride died in 2005 of age-related causes after producing 15 foals. Her AEI hovered near 3.1, proof that her family still fuels champions. And if that was impressive, this next one delivered back-to-back Belmont bombs. Up next, Better Than Honor. Two Belmont Stakes winners, one broodmare. That alone locks down a place in history. Better Than Honor was foaled on February 27, 1996, in Kentucky by Deputy Minister out of Blush with Pride. Trained by John Kimmel, she won the Grade 2 Demoiselle Stakes before retiring to broodmare duties. At Hill and Dale, her influence exploded. Jazil took the Belmont in 2006, followed by Rags to Riches in 2007 as the first filly to win it in over a century. Her other foals include Casino Drive and Man of Iron. A Breeders' Cup Marathon winner. Streaming and Greatest Honor also carried the line forward. Sold for $14 million in 2008, her AEI reached 3.52. The next matriarch made stallions, classics, and a dynasty. Coming up, Lassie Dear. This is where classic American stamina met breeding brilliance. Lassie Dear came into the world in 1974 in Kentucky, sired by Buck Passer out of Gay Missile. She wasn't flashy on the track, just modest wins under trainer Woody Stevens, but her value came later. At Claiborne Farm, she delivered Weekend Surprise, the dam of AP Indy and Summer Squall. Charming Lassie, another daughter, produced Lemon Drop Kid. And my friend Max? Another stakes winner to add to the list. Her female line has touched the Belmont, Preakness, and Breeders' Cup. Lassie Dear passed in 1996 from natural causes, leaving behind 14 foals and a dynasty still going strong. And just when you thought the family tree peaked, wait till you see what's next. Here comes a classic weekend surprise. Few broodmares can claim a legacy that shaped both Triple Crown races and the breeding shed. Weekend Surprise, born on April 8, 1980 in Kentucky, was sired by Secretariat and trained by Woody Stevens. She won 3 stakes races herself, including the Schuylerville, before retiring to broodmare life at Lane's End. Her 1992 son, AP Indy, won the Belmont and Breeders' Cup Classic, then became a Hall of Fame stallion. Summer Squall, another standout son, took the Preakness in 1990. In total, she produced 14 foals, 9 winners, and multiple stakes scorers. Her AEI reached an elite 3.10 and was also crowned Kentucky Broodmare of the Year in 1992. Now, meet a mare whose quiet demeanor hid explosive potential. Let's talk about the mighty Hasili. Most broodmares never produce a single Grade 1 winner, but Hasili produced 5. Born March 12, 1991, in France and sired by Kahyasi out of Karali, she raced under Khalid Abdullah's Judd Monte Silks and won over a mile as a 2-year-old. After retiring to Judd Monte's Banstead Manor stud, she reshaped elite breeding. Her foals include Banks Hill, Intercontinental, Cacique, Champs-Élysées, and Heat Hayes, each a Grade 1 winner. Her son, Dansili, became a top-class sire in his own right. Hasili died of natural causes in 2017 after producing 7 winners from 9 foals. AEI, an off-the-charts 4.12. She may have been quiet in the paddock, but in the bloodline, no European mare came close this century. Next, a broodmare who conquered both hemispheres. Now, meet Miesque. Before she built bloodlines, she broke finish lines. Born on March 14, 1984 in Kentucky, Miesque was sired by Nureyev out of Paso Doble and trained by François Boutin. Out of 16 starts, she won 12, including 2 Breeders' Cup miles, and earned over $2 million. Her son, King Mambo, became a stallion legend. Her daughters, East of the Moon and Monovasia, gave rise to Rumpelstiltskin, Tapestry, and Real Steel. She produced 14 foals and 9 winners at Flaxman Holdings in Kentucky. Miesque died in 2011 of natural causes. Her AEI soared above 3.5, and her influence still runs deep through turf and time. Moving on, this next lady brought thoroughbred greatness across an ocean. Let's now bring in Lady Angela. Canadian racing owes its roots to a British lady with royal blood and serious broodmare muscle. Lady Angela came from England in 1952, sired by Hyperion out of Sister Sarah, and was shipped to E.P. Taylor's Winfield's farm. She produced Nearctic, a top Canadian sire, but her real impact came through Nearctic's son, Northern Dancer. That single grandson reshaped global breeding from Kentucky to Japan. Lady Angela also produced stakes winners like Empire Day and was named Canada's Broodmare of the Year in 1966. She passed away in 1974 of old age, leaving behind 8 foals and a bloodline that runs through nearly every top stallion today. Now let's meet a mare who dominated long after her final gallop. Next in line, Urban Sea. One arc win put her in the history books, but her real masterpiece came after the finish line. Urban Sea stormed to victory in the 1993 Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, defeating colts and champions alike. Foaled in Ireland in 1989, she was sired by Miesque out of Allegretta and trained by Jean Laborde. After earning over $1.6 million on the track, she joined the broodmare band at Coolmore. Her 1998 colt Galileo became the most influential sire in modern Europe. See the Stars followed, unbeaten in 8 starts, and a legend in his own right. Urban Sea died in 2009 due to foaling complications, leaving behind 11 foals, 8 winners, and a bloodline that now rules both turf and time. You won't believe who kicked off the next bloodline. Now we've got Mumtaz Mahal, nicknamed the Flying Filly. Mumtaz Mahal turned heads in the 1920s with electric speed and ghost white coloring. Birthed in 1921 and sired by the Tetrarch out of Lady Josephine, she was bred by Aga Khan III and trained by Richard Dawson. Though her own career was short, 5 wins in 10 starts was massive. She produced Mahmoud, winner of the 1936 Epsom Derby, and Mumtaz Begum, who foaled Nasrullah. That line led to Bold Ruler, and yes, Secretariat. Mumtaz Mahal died in 1945, but her descendants still dominate both sprint and classic distances. One look at a modern pedigree and chances are she's in it. Let's roll back even further, to the foundation that shaped modern speed. Coming up royal is Somethingroyal. Forget flash on the racetrack. Her impact was born in the breeding shed. Foaled on March 12, 1952, in Kentucky, and sired by the stamina-packed Prince Aguillo, Somethingroyal delivered more than just racehorses. She birthed legends. Secretariat, her 1970 son by Bold Ruler, shattered records and rewrote history. But she wasn't a one-hit wonder. She also produced Sir Gaylord, a major sire and key branch in elite pedigrees. She lived at Meadow Stud under Christopher Chenery's breeding program and died in 1983 of old age. Out of 18 foals, 11 were winners. With an AEI of 2.64, she outproduced her bloodlines and expectations. Somethingroyal didn't chase greatness. She gave birth to it. And finally, meet the mother of all dynasties. We are closing our list with Pocahontas. Before dynasties had names, there was Pocahontas. Foaled in 1837 and sired by Glencoe out of Marpessa, this unassuming British mare didn't set the racetrack on fire, but redefined what it meant to leave a legacy. Her sons, Stockwell, Rotaplan, and King Tom, weren't just winners. They were pillars of the modern thoroughbred. Stockwell earned the title Emperor of Stallions, while King Tom topped sire lists in both 1870 and 1871. Pocahontas passed away in 1870, but her influence never did. Her blood courses through legends like Secretariat, Nijinsky, and Frankel. From paddocks in England to starting gates worldwide, she remains the blueprint for greatness. That's the end of the list, but not the legacy. These mares weren't just mothers. They were the architects of greatness. Their names echo through pedigrees, and their blood still wins the big ones. Every champion you cheer today, chances are, it started with a mare like this. Now, if you're wondering whether your own mare's in season, don't guess. Watch our next video and learn exactly what to look for.